I'll read you the dictionary definition of a particular word and you tell me what that word is. A feeling or consciousness of one's power or of reliance on one's circumstances. Let's try another dictionary. A feeling of self-assurance arising from an appreciation of one's own abilities or qualities. What word have I just described? Confidence. Confidence is being conscious of your abilities, what you can do, what you can make happen, what you are capable of. Confidence is also being able to rely on your circumstances, whether it's being able to rely on somebody or being able to rely on a system that you have put in place to do what needs to be done, being able to count on something working. That now is confidence that you are not putting on yourself, but on your surroundings, on things outside of yourself. Based on these definitions, I can safely say that confidence requires some sort of balance between being able to rely on yourself and being able to rely on your environment. And that is what this vlog is about. Hi guys. One of the areas where I've really been lacking confidence is driving. Those of you who watched my previous videos, I learned driving at 7 months pregnant. I wrote my driving exam at 9 months pregnant, literally 2 weeks to giving birth. No, not 2 weeks, it was more like 3 weeks to giving birth. And I passed my driving exam. Long story short, since then, I've not really had the opportunity to drive a lot. So once in a while, my husband lets us drive our family around because I can't drive by myself. Not yet anyway. I don't yet have that confidence. And if he's to be with me, oh, okay, let me start because we're dying in heat here. I need to be with him when I'm driving, or at least be with somebody. And if he's with me, then it means he has to be with our son. So the three of us are in the car. Anyway, I'm about to drive us to the shops. So this is one of the areas in which I don't have a lot of confidence, and I know that with time I will build my confidence, right?
They say it's not true.
I know. So confidence is built through action, right? Through action and competence. And hopefully with time, I think you guys get the gist of my message here.
Driving comes through constant action. Or the skill of driving comes through constant action.
Okay, but the video itself is about confidence, about building your confidence. So you can build confidence by building your skill. Oh,
Slowly. Oh.
I don't know why I decided to go this way.
This is the way I go. Oh, it's not good.
We made it here to our destination. I came across an excerpt from a podcast and it just made something click in my mind. It was the Jay Shetty podcast and he asked his guest, Dr. Aliza Pressman, how confident people are raised.
How do you raise a confident human?
Remember that competence builds confidence, not praise. Telling
So
your kid
well
they're
said.
amazing is not going to make them feel like they're amazing. It's the competence, like helping them develop the skills. Those skills don't have to be that you're like a star violinist or tennis player. It can be that you know how to cook or put the dishes away, just a functioning individual.
Reflecting on this, it makes perfect sense because the better you get at something, the more confident you are in your ability to do that thing. It does not end there because once you have proven to yourself that you can learn how to do something and do it well, you are more likely to try to learn other things. That's your confidence building up. However, it is important to be strategic about the skills you are learning when your confidence is still fragile. The lady in that clip specifically said that the skills that help you build confidence do not necessarily have to be the top of the line skills, but basic everyday skills. So you may want to start with small wins and then build up to the bigger wins because big wins will give you a major confidence boost. But on the other hand, big failures can tear down your confidence if it was already fragile. I testify, my leaves are evergreen, yeah. 1,000 shall fall down, 10,000 shall fall down by my side. I testify, oh. As important as wins are for your confidence, failures are just as important to keep your confidence malleable and not brittle. Malleable means it can be molded into different forms, like rubber. Brittle means it easily shatters, like glass. We have to learn how to deal with failure because it is a part of life. Skills are learned. We do not come out of the womb with skills, so we are bound to meet some failure in our learning journey. If we learn how to properly handle failure, our failures end up teaching us about ourselves, about the world and how it works, and a very important skill, how to pivot. Failure should be handled as a message to be understood, not as food to be consumed and internalized. The question should be, what information is this failure giving me, and not why am I such a failure? This is a lesson that I personally ended up learning quite late in life, I think, because most of my big failures came to me a bit later and failure felt like a new territory to me. It paralyzed me and it shattered my confidence. My confidence was definitely brittle and I had to rebuild it with little wins, and of course, I had to learn how to deal with failure. I have learned to not internalize it, but to receive the information the failure was conveying. I am a work in progress on this front. Mutombo is in progress, but at least I recognize where I am and what needs to be done to move forward in my situation. I would like to hear about your experience with this topic of confidence, especially as it pertains to your capabilities. Tomatoes and boiled it yesterday, so I'll just fry them. Alright guys, I am done. So this is my stew. I had to complete it off camera because my camera died and I couldn't pause the cooking to wait for the camera to charge. I used to do that in the past, but I don't have that luxury right now. My rice is here. Now I understand why my mom used to tell me when you're putting in vegetables, they should be literally the last thing that you put in the pot, especially these leafy vegetables. I put in the parsley when the rice was almost cooked, not completely cooked, almost cooked. I mean, I should have known this. I know this, but for some reason it just didn't click in my head. So it turns out that even after the food has cooked, if the pot stays closed, the steam continues to cook whatever you add. So my parsley now is overcooked, so and it's not as green as I would have loved it to be, but it's fine. So that's what we are eating today. Oh, let me show you Ezra's food. My son Ezra, While the stew was cooking, I just dropped in those potatoes that I was peeling in the stew, and I took out the potatoes before adding in my salt and Maggi, because based on what I've read, it's not advisable to give babies under 1 year old salt. Babe, are you ready to eat rice and stew? Okay.
Just eat that.
So you're hungry, but you want to wait 1 hour 30 minutes to eat. What's the time? Huh? It's 11:30. Are you serious?
Yes.
Oh my word. It's midday and we are famished. We're about to take breakfast. This is the food. I tasted my food in the kitchen before bringing it here.
How was it?
I like it. I could have let the tomato boil for a bit longer to completely remove the sourness. Then that's good. Appetite. When Vincent said he liked the food, I thought he was just being nice to me. Then he went for seconds and even forgot his tray in the kitchen.
See that show the fruit again.
Self-confidence is something that I have wanted to talk about on this channel for a very long time. I have a few tips here that I wrote over a year ago. I have not edited them, I have not modified them, and they are still relevant. I'll share them exactly as I originally wrote them. It is based on personal experience, my personal experience. If you've watched me for any length of time, you would quickly realize that I'm a very quirky person and I like to present myself in any space that I occupy as authentically as I can. To do this, you need confidence. You need to be confident in who you are, in your flaws, your strengths, your abilities, and how all of these things work together to make you unique. So here are a few tips that I would like to share on how to develop your self-confidence. Strengthen it. Number 1, give yourself grace. You are a human being just like everyone else. Be kind to yourself. Do the best that you can today and trust yourself to pick it up again tomorrow. Number 2, know that God does not make mistakes. It doesn't matter who you are or where you came from, what your upbringing was like, whether you come from the most unorthodox circumstances, whether you are a product of a one-night stand, it doesn't matter. If you're here, God meant for you to be here. God chose you to be here. And most importantly, God wants you here. Meaning you have purpose. You have a role to play in this world. Number 3, the truth is your most powerful asset. Own it, especially regarding things that you cannot change. I'll give you a small example or a big example depending on how you want to look at it. I used to be very self-conscious about my bust, my breast, my chest area, especially growing up. In my early teens, I was a very skinny girl. I was just this skinny girl with very big breasts, and my breasts were the first thing that anybody who met me commented on. And as a child, it takes a toll on you. I went to an all-girls boarding school for my secondary education. So from age 11 to 17, I was in a boarding school. On the very first night I got to boarding school, they gathered us, the first year or Form 1 students, and asked us to introduce ourselves to the senior students. When it got to my turn, I introduced myself, and the very first thing that one of the senior students said was, "Hey, do you want to get Bobby, yo?" These were her exact words. This was 20 years ago. I'm 31 now. This happened when I was 10, about to be 11. And I remember everything about that particular moment. I remember the person who made the comment. I was wearing a pink hoodie and a white dress. I remember my face just feeling very hot, getting flushed from embarrassment. So at that age when you are still developing and you're still getting to know your own body and getting used to your features, I couldn't find bras that fit me. My mom would take me to the market and would look high and low for bras. I remember this specific brand, Club de France, Club de Paris. They used to make good bras for big busted young people. So those were basically the only bras that I could buy ready-made. As I kept growing, it got worse and worse, and we actually had to start sewing my bras. Like, tailors actually had to make my bras for me. That's how bad it was. And I hung my head low about it. Literally, the boobs were weighing me down. Somehow I felt like I needed to be ashamed about my natural features. This was my demeanor about my physical appearance until the day that I decided to own it and not let it own me. Like I said, God does not make mistakes. This is how he decided to make me. I don't even want to get into how this particular physical feature of mine played into the male gaze at the time. The comments that I would get when I'm in the streets just walking, the kind of catcalls that I'll receive, random hooligans in the streets just saying things like, hey, this girl, when they're sharing breasts you collected for yourself and the person behind you. As a 12-year-old, what should I respond to that? Acknowledge your differences and your features. If you have K-leg, you acknowledge it, you own it, you accept it. It's your nature. I really insist on accepting your differences and accepting your features, because once you accept yourself, especially as concerns your physical appearance, you take back the power from anybody who would want to use it against you. Your brain is rewired from hiding, trying to make yourself small, trying to hide your features, to the automatic response of yes and. Your head is held up higher because you no longer have that weight. You finally realize that no matter what people say, it really doesn't change anything. You are who you are. Whether people like it or not, your features are the way they are. What do they want to do about it? Whether people insult it or praise it, it is what it is. Okay? The praises or insults have no power over you. It cannot be used to control you or make you feel small or make you feel less than. Yes, and? Hey, this girl, you have big boobs. Yes, and? Oh, you have a flat butt. Yes, I got it from my dad. And? Oh, you have a big stomach. Yes, and? If you can give me a valid response to the yes and, maybe you're worth listening to. So, acknowledge your features, accept them. The last point that I really applied to myself is know who you are. Once you have accepted and acknowledged the things about you that you may be different or that you may be insecure about, you may still want to change them. And that's an honest reality. But the important thing is that if you do decide to go ahead and make some changes, you are doing things on your terms. It's more about how you want to be than about how the society wants you to be. In fact, we can get into beauty standards in a whole other video, because one year a certain type of physical appearance is the big thing. The next year it's a different type of physical appearance that takes the stage. So what are you going to do? Are you going to metamorphose? I need to check my words before I use them. Are you going to metamorphosize? Is that the correct word? I think so. Are you going to oh my word. Are you going to Are you going to metamorphosize every single time that society demands something different? You'll be exhausted. I say know yourself because your decisions have to come from within, not from the society around you. Or else you're going to be swayed like a leaf, just fluttering in the wind. And that is no way to live life. So I am personally not opposed to people making changes to themselves, to their bodies, if they don't feel confident about some of their features. But I'm more concerned about the state of mind that a person is in while making these decisions to make changes to themselves. You must first have accepted yourself, because acceptance helps your mind heal. But effecting change in your life helps you know that you can change things that you don't like, especially if the change involves hard work. Changing insecurities can be done on so many levels. Don't just think only about, the obvious thing, which is, cosmetic changes on the body. It can be things like weight loss. It can be a lifestyle change just to help you feel more confident in yourself. Even changing the people around you, working harder so that you perform better and build more confidence in your ability to do things. Basically, anything that you do to change your circumstances and boost your confidence. This topic of confidence is really near and dear to my heart because it affects so many things in this life. It affects how you move in the world, even just your posture. It affects how you sit, how you carry yourself, how you talk to people. It affects the way you work. It affects the relationships that you have with people. Have you ever been friends or in a relationship with somebody who lacks self-confidence? It's very exhausting. It is exhausting. So building your confidence, I believe, will give you an overall better experience in this thing called life.